Have you ever felt like you're tuned into a different frequency than everyone else? As if you're seeing, feeling, and thinking about the world with a depth that others don't seem to notice? The renowned psychologist Carl Jung spent his entire career studying people just like this. He made a remarkable discovery. Less than 5% of the population ever develops what he called differentiated consciousness, a highly advanced way of experiencing reality. The fascinating and often painful part of this is that these unique individuals frequently go through life believing there's something wrong with them. Jung documented countless cases of people with extraordinary psychological gifts who had been taught by society that their greatest strengths were actually flaws. Their intensity was labeled as being too much, their sensitivity was seen as a weakness, and their refusal to settle for simple answers was considered difficult. But Jung saw the truth. These traits weren't signs of a problem. They were signs of an exceptionally sophisticated and developed mind. He believed these rare personalities weren't just different, they were a glimpse into humanity's future, representing the next step in our collective consciousness. So let's explore the 8 definitive signs of this rare personality type. If you recognize yourself in these patterns, the persistent feeling of being an outsider will finally begin to make sense. It was never that you were too much for the world, it's that the world was often not enough for you. The things that make you feel different aren't defects, they are upgrades. You aren't broken, you are a breakthrough. The first sign is that you experience emotions with a profound richness that can feel almost supernatural. For you, feelings aren't just fleeting moods, they are complex symphonies that move through you, each one carrying layers of meaning. This isn't emotional instability, it's emotional sophistication. When you feel things deeply, you're not overreacting, you're simply perceiving the world with more detail. You're the person who can walk into a room and instantly feel the unspoken tension or notice the subtle emotional shifts in a conversation that everyone else misses. Your mind is simply wired for depth, not for the shallow end of the pool. The second sign involves your relentless and sacred curiosity. According to Jung, most people live on a kind of autopilot, accepting social rules and norms without much thought. But you can't help but dig deeper. You don't just ask what, your mind is constantly driven to ask why. Why do people stay in situations that diminish them? Why do we accept systems that don't truly help us flourish? This innate drive to look beyond the surface is what Jung called the transcendent function. While others are comfortable with the status quo, you're already envisioning a more authentic, meaningful way of being. This can sometimes make others uneasy, as your questions challenge the comfortable illusions they live by. The third sign is a powerful, self-built independence. You have learned to accept yourself completely, not because it was easy, but because it was a psychological necessity. Your independence isn't a defensive wall, it is a hard-won achievement. Through experience, you discovered that relying on others for your sense of worth is unreliable. So you did the difficult work of building your identity from the inside out. You created a sense of self that cannot be shaken by someone else's approval or absence. For you, time alone isn't loneliness, it's a sanctuary. It's where you recharge and remember who you are beneath all the roles you play. The fourth sign is your sharp, hyper-perceptive awareness. Jung identified intuition as a legitimate and vital psychological function. You don't just see people, you perceive their inner world. You notice the tiny flicker in their eyes, the subtle shift in their energy, and the important truths hidden in the words they don't say. When someone insists they are fine, but their entire being radiates distress, you can't unsee it. This isn't paranoia, it is your sensitivity operating at an advanced level. Jung warned, however, that without learning to protect this gift, you can become an unconscious emotional sponge for everyone around you, leading to exhaustion. The fifth sign is a deep, unshakable need for meaning over everything else. For you, living an authentic life isn't a luxury, it's a core requirement. You've probably tried to follow the script, chasing the job, the money, or the status you were told would make you happy. But it always left you feeling empty. Your psyche simply cannot pretend that shallow goals are fulfilling. You can't build your life on relationships of convenience rather than true connection. Your very makeup won't allow it. This unwavering commitment to what is real and meaningful is a powerful force. The sixth sign is a recurring pattern of outgrowing people and environments. Psychological growth can often be a lonely path. You have likely experienced the painful realization that you have evolved beyond relationships and situations that once felt like home. This isn't because you've become cold or difficult. It's because you have shed layers of conditioning that no longer serve you. Old friends may remember a past version of you and feel uncomfortable with your growth because you are no longer predictable, but you cannot go back. Jung knew that psychological evolution is a one-way street. The seventh sign is the transformative effect your presence has on others. When you show up as your authentic self, you create a space where others feel safe enough to be authentic too. You don't just listen to words, you listen to the feelings beneath them. You don't offer cheap advice or quick judgments, you offer the rare gift of deep witnessing. This powerful presence can be a healing force. The risk, however, is that you can become so skilled at holding space for others that you forget to ask for that space for yourself, which can lead to burnout. And the eighth sign is the persistent feeling that you have a greater purpose, even if it's not yet clearly defined. It's a quiet, restless knowing that you are here to contribute something meaningful. It may not be about fame or recognition, but about alignment. The psychological necessity of living in harmony with your deepest nature. Jung believed this inner calling is your soul's potential-seeking expression. Ignoring it can lead to anxiety and a sense of meaninglessness. If these signs feel deeply familiar, understand that you are navigating the world with a more complex internal operating system. This journey requires courage. You will often feel lonely, and you must learn to protect your energy. Your rarity will attract people who are either drawn to your light or intimidated by it. Your task is to learn discernment, to know who is capable of meeting you in your depth and who is not. The traits we've discussed are not flaws to be fixed. They are evidence of a highly advanced psychological design. Your emotional depth is a form of intelligence. Your constant questioning is the engine of progress. Your independence is psychological strength. You are not just living your life. You are expanding the very definition of what it means to be human. The world doesn't need you to be smaller, quieter, or more convenient. It needs you to be exactly who you are. If this resonated with you and you want to continue exploring the incredible depths of your unique mind, subscribe to this channel. There's so much more to discover together.